I'm here.
Hey everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and with me tonight is Scribe. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
Satsu's here as well.
Late as hell, but I'm here.
You made it in time for the start. SDA will not be joining us tonight, but she is in the chat if you guys want to chat with her. As the title says, we've been talking about doing this for a while, but things that kids today will never know. Not necessarily even items, but experiences that change because of the technology and stuff we have today. So, Scribe, I know you said you had some notes. You want to start with one?
Sure. So the first thing that occurred to me was the event of going to or browsing through a video store.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid, going to the video store to rent a movie was like a family thing. That was like, you know, that was a treat. That was a luxury. And even when I got old enough that I could go on my own kind of thing, just looking through all the weird, especially the mom and pop stores, not the Blockbusters and such. They had those things too, but like the really obscure stuff that you never heard about before, the things that seemed like they were taboo to watch, kind of deal, like Eraserhead and things like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There's just something, I mean, they have Redbox now, you know, it's like, yeah. But yeah.
Didn't you work in one?
I did for a brief time after high school, yeah.
I knew it was going to be movie related.
Well, hey, you know, it's one of those things. Well, I mean, just the ease of access now to movies. I mean, you can go to Netflix and with the push of a button watch a movie, and you can be finished with it in 5 seconds and not care because you didn't pay for it or anything, or at least not in aggregate. And whereas if you rent a movie from a video store, it's like, well, I paid $3 for this thing. I better watch it all the way through, or else I'm not getting my money's worth.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that I was actually going to talk about was related to that is having to fucking rewind a video to watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had
shit took forever.
Yeah, we had a rewinder machine at the store because most people didn't. And so we had to rewind them for them, especially the guys that brought back the porn.
Didn't they used to charge you for that? Like if you brought it back, not rewind it?
Not at our store. Some stores did.
Yeah, I remember that vaguely. I was still really young, but I remember that.
Really young. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Be Kind rewind stickers on the tapes.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I vividly remember that orange-ass Rugrats fucking VHS that was in my house for like until I was like 18.
Yeah. Nickelodeon colored their videotapes orange a lot of the time.
Yes, dude. I still remember that damn thing. We couldn't get rid of it. Even long after we like got rid of our VCR, it was always around.
Yeah, I don't have a VCR anymore, but I still have tapes. I have my Star Trek 6 movie collection that has the Enterprise on the side when they're all together. I can't throw that away.
I still have a it's not plugged in, but I've got a combo DVD VCR player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look who needed attention.
Yeah, I did.
For a while.
Well, y'all were like, we're going to talk about things you don't know, like rotary phones. And then you're like, VHSs. Like, for real?
No. We didn't say just rotary phones. Kids today that are born right now are never going to know what a VCR is.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Of course I'm right. I'm the monkey.
Too young.
Yeah, because the last VCR factory shut down like 6 months ago or something.
Plus, I feel better than I did earlier, so you know.
Cool.
Felt left out.
Hey, girl.
The one that really jumped out at me is because I was a bad kid. I was always sneaking off places where I wasn't supposed to be, and Mom, you know, you were supposed to call, and I could lie to her and say I did call. She'd say, when? Like at 2. Nowadays, Mom has a phone where she can see whether or not you called her ass.
Uh-huh.
And I feel bad for kids because they're almost like GPS tracked constantly nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What else you got?
Couldn't get away with that shit back then.
Getting a little more global. The country of Yugoslavia.
Oh, yeah, and their cars.
Yeah, I think the Yugo.
The Yugo.
Yeah, the country of Yugoslavia broke up during the Bosnian-Herzegovina War and all the Serbian War, and it's no longer a country. So, yeah, that's something that no kids today will ever really know about except in history books.
Well, there's others like, the Soviet Union.
Yeah, well, the USSR, for sure. Yeah, Russia is still a thing. But, yeah, like the country of Georgia and Ukraine and all that stuff, sort of splitting off from it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's the space shuttle is another one. I used to love waiting or sitting up late at night to watch it take off because I love watching it take off at night, and we're not flying those anymore.
That's true. Have they figured out what they're replacing that with yet?
SpaceX, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they've actually worked on another.
1 point for the ANCAPs.
For the what now?
For the anarcho-capitalists. Because we're using SpaceX instead of NASA.
Yeah.
Well, I know somebody said somebody in the chat said payphones, but you can still
also
find payphones in
NASA kids today. Just NASA in general. We doing anything with NASA anymore?
I mean, they're shit talking the president on Twitter, so
they're still looking into space and stuff. I mean, the Hubble telescope is still sending out pictures. They update those once in a while.
And we still have probes going out to some of the distant planets and stuff still.
Yeah. Somebody said cassettes and pencils. Remember rewinding tapes with a pencil?
Oh yeah. Remember pencils in general? Fucking
Did you just say I don't remember cassette tapes?
Yes, I did.
I had plenty of cassette tapes as a kid.
I don't believe that. You're a rich kid. You had you had bands come sing to you.
No, I had cassette tapes.
Okay.
As a child, and VHS tapes.
I'll take your word for that. What else you got there, Scribe?
Okay, I'll just keep going. Joe Camel and the Marlboro Man.
Oh yeah.
Now those are the two characters that might still be around somewhere, but they're not going to be on billboards anymore. You're not going to see them in TV ads and maybe some magazine ads, but that's about it. Because cigarettes are the devil.
Wait, we talking about the Camel?
Yeah, Joe Camel.
Joe Camel.
Okay.
Speaking of the Marlboro Man, there's a great weird movie called Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. You ever seen this?
Yeah, Don Johnson's in that, isn't he?
Don Johnson and what's
Mickey
his
Rourke.
name? Mickey Rourke, yeah, where they're playing embodiments of Americana. So like Marlboro Man's girlfriend is Virginia Slim, and their best friend is Jack Daniels at the bar. It's hilarious.
Yep, dial-up internet is something most of them will never know, and no, I don't have dial-up.
I remember dial-up.
Oh, God.
My mom worked from home when I was a kid, so when I was like 3 and 4, that's all I would hear all day.
Fucking dial-up and MSN Messenger.
Yeah, somebody calls your house and it cuts off your connection.
Yes.
Exactly.
Can't use the phone and the internet at the same time.
Keeping your shoes on at the airport.
No, you can keep your shoes on now.
Oh?
Yeah, so now
as long as you don't look brown
off at the airport.
Oh, you're awfully brown. Take those shoes off.
Yes.
I just got back from Hawaii.
Got the color chart. I used to love rotary phones, and I still do, and I would own one if I could find one that actually looked like the one I had as a kid. I used to like to amuse myself by dialing without actually using the right number. Like if I had to dial a 5, put it in the 9, and just move it to try to get to the right spot. But you know what I also miss as a kid that the kids today just can't do as well is prank phone calls.
Oh yeah,
well, you can't get away with them anymore.
Thank you, D-Stabilizer.
Thank you, D.
Actually hanging up a phone. Oh my God. Yeah.
Slamming that phone down when you're mad.
Oh yeah, hanging up on people is not the same
and
as
even
what it
like
used to be.
flip phoning, just like.
Yeah, even then. Yeah, just snapping that phone down. Like, fuck you. And they could tell because they could hear it.
Yeah.
Where I lived in Virginia, they actually had the phone prefix 867. So I used to torment.
5309.
I used to torment the person who had that phone number. That was my go-to.
Oh no, either.
Oh God, you guys remember? What was it? It was either Pizza Hut or Domino's, that commercial where they used to sing the phone number all the time.
Oh,
it was like 524-4444 or some shit like that.
Well,
I don't know. Like there are plenty of phone numbers that I can think of, like because I'm in Atlanta, so like Superior Plumbing is one.
Well, the thing about Domino's that kids won't know from now on is the Noid.
The Noid.
Avoid the Noid.
Yeah, I don't know that.
He had a video game even.
He did. So did Spot, the 7-Up Spot. He had his own.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah, he did.
My sister loved that game. It was on Sega Genesis.
Yeah, I used to play Earthworm Jim, and I went over to my cousin's house, and it's always like, I don't know what it is, but whenever I was young, I go over to my cousin's house. That's when I like experienced games that I never had because they always got stuff that I didn't. And he had this really obscure game that nobody had heard about that I kept telling people about called Booger Man. It was on Sega.
Oh, yeah,
and I was like,
that.
this is the weirdest fucking game I've ever seen. But it was fun, little platformer, but it was so dumb.
Did you ever play Toe Jam and Earl?
Yes, that was my mom's game. Oh my gosh, she loves that game.
That was a great game.
Yeah, there's some really good games. Genesis got underrated overall because it had some game like it did games that Nintendo wouldn't touch, like Splatterhouse and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, they fucked up when they tried doing the whole DVD thing, or
Sega CD.
Sega CD,
because it was a peripheral. They didn't make
was
the
a
same
flop.
thing, and then Sega Saturn. Yeah, I mean, there was on one of the Angry Video Game Nerds videos, he found all the Sega peripherals and put them all together at once, and it was this monstrosity of just like the 32X and the Sega CD and God knows what else. It was ridiculous.
How about antennas on the top of your TV?
Yeah.
Or on top of your
Bunny
house.
ears.
Yeah,
On top of your house,
Yeah.
Oh, you're the rich kid. You had a satellite. We all know.
Yeah, having to
I didn't have
adjust the
satellite. I
antenna.
had cable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the big 6-foot satellite dishes? You don't see many of them around anymore either.
Oh, we used to have one of those
Except
at my
for-
cabin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
Those are great.
Back in the old days, so in the old days when we had that satellite dish up at our sort of vacation house or weekend house or whatever, we could get the live feeds from the broadcast news channels.
Oh yeah.
And we could see them in between the commercial breaks live and what they did. Like if they're just sitting there like drinking their coffee or something or talking to the people off camera. That was sometimes the best. That was sometimes the funniest shit because they thought they were off the air. Of course, and I was watching like, oh boy, I could see Tom Brokaw when he's like brushing his teeth on the air.
Oh yeah, knob turn TVs. Those were the best.
Yes.
Except for when the knot broke, then they were no longer the best.
Are there TVs that don't come with a remote anymore?
I don't think so.
No, I think they all do.
I think actual manual operating. I mean, they have switches on them, obviously, if you need to run up and hit the power button or something. But
Thanks, Fritz.
Yep.
Thanks,
Fritz.
I was my parents' remote control.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Change that channel.
I think most kids were.
Album cover art.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just LP album covers, and to a lesser extent, like the old CD covers where they had like the long boxes before they like got all environmentally conscious. Yeah, those are really cool before the jewel cases came around.
Yeah,
that's another video game manuals.
Oh yeah. Oh man, you see the Breath of the Wild case? That shit's sad.
Well, I had on my list video game cartridges and CD/record collections in general. Just people don't. Unless you're like old like me, you don't really have a CD collection or a record collection for sure.
You'd be surprised. When I used to work at Target, people bought CDs all the time. They just keep them in their car now.
Yeah, I keep CDs in my car.
Let's see what else.
The thing like when you're watching the DVD player thing and you wait for it to bounce to the corner, and it never happens.
Wait, what thing?
Oh, the screensaver.
Yeah, this DVD screensaver, and it goes around, and you're like,
yeah, it just barely gets there, and then it bounces back. Dropping off film at the developer.
Yes. Excuse me. I worked at Walmart when they switched over where they didn't do film processing in-house anymore.
Right.
People were so mad, but there's so few people who actually do it anymore.
Right.
Sorry about that.
Let's see. Well, this is something that
Good
I've
evening,
noticed.
Captain Assassin.
Like the last time that I went to see a movie, which was Logan, I asked for a small drink, and they handed me what in my day would be a freaking large. And called it a small, and I thought, are you trying to give me diabetes?
Yes.
I just wanted a little drink, and like, no, this is the small. Like, that's insane.
What kind of person goes to
actually
the movie
happy
and
about
doesn't
that,
get a
'cause that's
large drink? Like, what are you doing?
Well, like I said, by my perspective, what they handed me was a large because it was
get
just
with it.
Yeah, exactly. I better get with it and get fat.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny
Diabetes.
though is they kind of make it to where you have to buy large because that's the only one you get a free refill on, and everything else is like
I
it's
need
like
more of it.
well, no, because like if you're going with multiple people, like we usually share just because it's just like it'll be like the small's like $5, the medium's like $5.25, and the large is like $5.75, but the large is like unbelievably big. So it's just like, yeah, we might as well just get that. What the fuck is the point of all of us getting a separate when it's gonna cost us like $15? Screw that. But you know, that's what I'm going with family, or if I go with my girlfriend or something. Friends, nah. I don't know where your mouth has been.
I don't want to get mono.
Hey.
Let's see. Something kids won't know about the difficulties of finding porn.
Oh
yeah. It was a hassle back then.
Yeah,
You had to know somebody who had an older brother.
Right, a older brother, or you need to know where your dad's stash was or something. Or you lifted one off of the news rack at for a hustler or something like that.
One of the greatest days of my life. There was this little treed area by our elementary school, and we used to go over there and get out of the sun. And we went over there one day, and there was a hustler.
Ooh, yeah,
yeah.
That was like the nasty one. His Playboy.
Yes, them bitches were dirty.
Yeah,
and I was so happy. I was so happy.
That was the
dirty
most
bitches.
Juvenile. Them bitches are dirty. I've ever
Them bitches.
heard.
Oh man. A Playboy was nice when you were a kid, but if you could get your hands on a hustler,
oh yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go.
No, I like the Playboy girls were always much more curvy and fun to look at, but then the hustler girls were like, "Oh, I'm doing something wrong by looking at this." Oh,
yeah. Those girls look like
our legs supposed to do that.
Those girls were being paid pennies on the dollar for what they were doing.
Pretty much. The necessary skill of researching at a library.
Oh yeah.
Now, you mean you could still do that, but it's not nearly as necessary now as it was back then.
It's not going to be as accurate. I mean, you get the wrong book and it's way outdated.
Right.
Yeah, and you have to read through the whole damn thing because it ain't like there's no, like you can look at the index to kind of tell you like where to go, but it's not necessarily going to give.
When I was a kid, when I was in school, they would be like, "You can use the books." We'd be like, "But do we have to?" And they made us for a couple of years, but then by the time I was through high school, they were like, "Fuck the books, I don't give a shit."
See, the thing that I always get curious about is if, with the internet and the ease of access to information, whether it's accurate or not, and you don't actually have to go to the effort of looking up things in a book or cross-referencing and that kind of thing, does that risk like kids missing out on maybe a passion or finding something new by not having to work for the information that they're having to find?
Probably not.
Maybe not, because most kids who like to read, they just gonna end up doing it anyway.
We'll just read.
Yeah,
well,
they'll
if you never find out that you like to research because you don't have to, then I'm just,
no. I mean,
it's an abstract.
Like while you're researching, you're gonna have the kids that just get the two required sources, and then you're gonna have people who are like, "I like looking up information," and they're gonna keep going.
Yeah, it's probably going to be tied to their learning styles, honestly, like how they retain the information.
Fritz says kids will never know phones with actual cords. One of the things on my list
Thank
was
you, Fritz.
making a phone call. Kids will never know making a phone call from a stationary position.
Oh yeah,
because, like you couldn't walk around. You had to. I mean, until you got like a cordless phone, but even then the range on that was maybe like 50 feet, if that. You had to like stand in your living room or your kitchen or a pay phone or whatever.
We had a microwave that would fuck with our cordless phone. If somebody would cook something, you'd get all kinds of static.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Unfortunate, but hilarious.
Yeah.
Let's see. They still exist, but they're not nearly as prevalent now as they were back then. Long distance call charges.
Oh,
we still get long distance call charges though.
Well, yeah, you can, but I mean, like, I can talk to people in Australia right now, and I don't get charged anything because
that's true.
Skype or whatever. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they still exist, but they're less prevalent, and they're not necessarily as
right.
Yeah, most kids probably don't have to deal with it.
Right. I'm almost done on my list. The last
wait,
thing I have.
Wait.
Oh, sorry.
Bloodwing said that they had a party line when he was a kid.
Yes, the party line.
Party line.
You know what those are?
I do. Does
Yeah.
anybody else?
Yeah. Does anybody else know what a party line was?
No.
No.
Damn youngins.
Yeah.
It was a shared phone line between different houses, and you had to wait your turn to get to call who you wanted to.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Especially in rural locations, like several houses on a block might share one line. So if you pick up the phone, you hear people talking, you hang up, and you wait until they're done so you can make your call.
Now that's a bit older than I am, but I do know what they are.
Dude, what if you're smack talking your neighbor?
You get fucked up.
That was the risk.
Well, no, back then, I don't know if this happens now because I haven't had a house phone and I don't know how long, but I used to get like during a call, I used to get other people's conversations. Like they would just like pop in and I would hear somebody else's conversation on the phone. And I'm like, who the fuck is that? Yeah, that happened a couple times back in the day. Never happened on the cell phone though, just like landline phones.
Right.
Well, I remember when I was young, my dad, he used to be a cop, and he still maintains like police scanners and such. And he gave me his old one at one point, and I was able to pick up people's cell phone calls back in the old days on the scanner. Shit. Yeah, it was really weird. I was listening to like taxi drivers making their rounds. I was listening to, I heard some people like actually having like conversations. I think one time I heard somebody like break up with their boyfriend or something. It was interesting.
Shameless.
My dad has a truck. I forget what year it is, but it's an old Silverado, and there's a hole in it where his old cell phone used to be. Like the very first ones.
Oh yeah, car phone. Yeah, my dad.
Yeah.
Had one. Yeah, my dad had one of the earlier models back in the like early '90s kind of thing.
Yeah, I think this would have been in like the late '80s or something like that.
Let's see. I've got relying on the news for video footage of current events.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because, I mean, it used to be the case that if you wanted to know what was going on in the world, either read the newspaper or you waited for the nightly news. Now it's like, I want to know what's going on in Rome, and there's probably a live feed somewhere. Or, you know, what's going on at the riot in XYZ city, and somebody's already got their cell phone out filming it.
Oh, yeah. Or fucking actual paper maps.
Well, I was going to talk about the skill about reading a map. That was on my list as well, because like who needs it now with like GPS and shit?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things like that we used to have to use. I mean, you'd have to pull out a map, and I don't remember the last time I looked at one.
Yeah. My
phone tells me where to go.
Oh, yeah. You ever catch my mom without her GPS? It's She's like, I don't know where I am right now.
There's another great one in the chat. They're recording songs on cassette tapes off the radio.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah. I used to do that.
Yeah. I bootlegged a concert. I forget who it was, but like a whole concert was played on the radio one time of one of the bands. I think it was Pearl Jam or something. And I got the entire concert on a tape, and I was just like, I got the whole album. I didn't have to pay for it. Yay.
And I'm having to sit and wait for a song to play again because you caught it in the middle, and you're like, shit.
Fritz again.
Or the DJ would talk over the start of the fucking song.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fritz.
The weather channel. I didn't really use it for forecast, but we lived in Virginia Beach, so occasionally hurricanes hit, and that's where everybody tuned into there until you lost power. I don't think people lose power as much as they used to either.
Oh my God, LimeWire.
Oh, LimeWire. That fucking.
Holy shit.
You mean PCHIV?
Yeah. Holy crap. I forgot about LimeWire.
Listserv.
And it wasn't even a warning, like download at your own risk. It was like, if you download this, your computer's fucked. We're just letting you know that.
Yeah.
Going to the TV guide to see what's coming on TV.
Oh,
yeah, TV guides are
Yellow Pages.
I still hated them. I hated them then. I still don't like them now, like with the cable and stuff. I'm like, I can't stand like looking through TV guides.
I still use the TV guide on our TV.
I don't like it.
No, I don't mean on the TV. I mean the actual guide. In a
oh, yeah.
Right.
The booklet you get mailed
once a week. Comes with the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said Yellow Pages. We actually got a Yellow Pages the other day. I'm like, what the fuck is that for? Kindling?
Yeah. I don't even know why I still get. I occasionally one will be dropped off at my doorstep. I'm like, I don't even know why I get this.
Skip protection? What the hell does that mean?
Thank you, Lotus. Skip protection was a thing on CD Walkmans.
Yeah.
that kept it from skipping while you would walk around.
Are we talking about like CD players?
Yeah. They still haven't
CD
perfected that
player.
technology.
Yeah.
As a
This
kid,
man,
I
thank
listened
you.
to
That's what
like
it's actually
a
called.
Britney Spears album with it.
Yeah, it should have had something, especially with the little rich kid like you. It had skip protection, because before they invented that, if you moved too much, your fucking disc would just skip to like the next track.
Do you remember?
No.
Do you remember mini discs?
Oh yes, yes.
Oh yeah, as brief as they were like the beta to the CD's VHS.
Well, they had mini cassettes too.
Yeah, they did.
They'd only had like 1 or 2 songs on them.
Right.
So
See, I'm actually old enough to remember 8 tracks. My dad had those.
Yeah.
And it's kind of because with those, for those of you who never had an 8-track, you would have to actually listen to the whole goddamn thing to get back to a song you liked.
That sounds very inconvenient.
It was.
Do they still make Aerobie?
What the hell is that?
It's always that really thin frisbee with those. That was a ring. Remember the Aerobie?
Oh, I don't know if they do or not.
Yeah, that was
How
like
do
a
you
really big
spell
thing
it?
for a while. Aerobie, I think.
I mean, I think it's probably called something different now, but
Yeah.
I've seen something of that nature.
That was like a big deal when I was a kid. Like, ooh, wow, it was so thin. It was like this, and it zipped around so fast, better than a regular frisbee. Everybody was so excited. That's another thing too. Going outside to play.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was the last thing on my list.
Kids still do that.
No, not just
Well-
going outside to play, but your mother telling you to get the hell out of the house.
Oh yeah,
Right.
no, that. But like,
Yeah, I was going to say the scarcity of broadcast media requiring kids to find other things to do socially and outdoors.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Because when there was only like 4 networks kind of thing before Fox appeared and you didn't have cable TV all over the place, it was either play with your action figures, and if you were lucky, you had a video game console. But if not that, it was like actually having to go outside or read a book or something.
Yep.
Oh, well, speaking of that, since we're talking about outside, I don't know. I'm not going to assume that you guys don't know about this, but we used to play Manhunt all the time. And it was basically like a 10-block version of hide and seek.
Okay.
And we had like probably a total of like 30, sometimes 40 or 50 kids. And it lasted all day. Like we would all scatter in the morning.
that sounds
And-
like fun.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like
Yeah.
a neighborhood-wide game of hide and seek. We called it Manhunt, and you had you could only go on the 10-block radius, and everybody who got caught was it too, and they had to help the person who was originally it find everybody else. And sometimes, like if anybody was left, whenever we had junk food or we had a party or whatever, they had to contribute, or we had to do it at their house or whatever. But it was very rare that we found everybody. And some nights, motherfuckers would cheat. They would like go home, and I'm like, you can't fucking do that.
Thank you,
You've been
Barry.
at home all
Yeah.
this time. Yeah,
Hershey
that
Bar
used to be
None.
so fun.
I remember the Bar None candy bar.
They don't make that anymore?
I don't know. I remember it. I don't know.
Huh.
I don't remember seeing it any time like
What's
recently
a bar
anywhere.
none?
It's a candy bar.
Uh,
Don't know what to say. It's a
yeah, we
supreme-
don't have those.
candy bars. Yeah, sorry.
No,
Dude, I thought whatchamacallits didn't exist anymore, but I saw one.
Whatchamacallits.
Oh yeah, I love whatchamacallit. So they had the best commercials.
No, the best commercials were Gushers, where like the big thing fell on the old lady.
wait,
Oh,
what's
yeah.
are y'all like just fucking around, or is like whatchamacallit an actual?
No,
It's
what's
the name of a candy bar.
Yeah,
Okay.
the candy bar.
Look it up. It's a great candy bar.
100
I admit it when
grand.
I don't know shit.
Let's see, whatchamacallit, 100 grand. What other candies?
It's
they
funnier
got?
when you don't know that you don't know shit, because that
Yeah.
meatloaf thing is still one of the
That is
greatest moments
hilarious.
of my
You know
recent
what?
life.
I don't
That
even
was so
wanna talk
funny.
about it, all right.
So funny. Big League Chew.
Oh yeah.
They still make that, I know, and that was like some baseball player. I read up on this not too long ago. It's not a very old product. I think it came out in the late 70s or early 80s, and it was just some baseball player just came up with the idea for shredded bubble gum, like in a little pouch,
And sell it like
yeah.
chewing tobacco.
And
That's
it's
so
not like chewing
awesome.
Tobacco, and then like it became so popular, and the cartoons on the front were done by the guy who worked for Mad Magazine. Oh, it was great.
Oh, someone said Pop Rocks.
Oh yeah, Pop Rocks.
Pop Rocks come around every so often because they were actually like big in what, the 60s?
Yeah, they're still around.
And then they
People-
brought them
yeah.
back in the 80s. And yeah.
Pixie Sticks and Pop Rocks, those are still around, I think.
Do they still have ice cream trucks?
Yes.
I've never seen an ice cream truck in real life.
Oh, that used to be the best day.
I have
Oh,
it on
yeah,
here.
dude.
Oh yeah, run out of the ice cream truck. Yeah.
We'd be sitting in the house, we'd pop up and fucking pour out the door, like, oh damn, it's the ice cream truck. But they don't show
cigarettes
up
were
in
so
certain
nasty.
neighborhoods. I found that out too. Because like whenever I went to like a nicer neighborhood, sometimes they didn't show up over there, and I'm like, that's so weird.
I remember getting the little plastic bottles. They actually weren't plastic. They were made out of wax, and they'd have juice inside, and you would actually eat the fucking wax.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I always
Someone
hated
asked
those
me how
nasty
I've never
things.
seen an ice cream truck in real life. We don't have ice cream trucks, but also where I live, our neighborhoods are so spread out. I live in a fairly rural area. Like
Oh.
the ice cream truck would have to go like a mile or so in between houses.
I actually live in a very rural neighborhood too, and there was a ice cream truck around here maybe a year ago, and it's like, what? How the fuck did that happen?
and
what it was-
Howard the Duck.
I only know about
great
Howard
movie.
the Duck because of Guardians of the Galaxy.
But this ice cream truck was actually traveling from one big city to another one, and he had to get gas, so he decided to hit all the neighborhoods in this area.
Hmm.
I was like, that's smart.
You remember
Yeah.
Otter
Echo
Pops?
cooler. The what?
Otter Pops.
Listen, thank you for its Otter
Otter Pops.
Pops.
Maybe this was a regional thing. It's basically like they'd come in these, basically be like fruit juice in these little tube packages.
Oh, we have
And
those.
you
They're
put 'em
not
in the-
called Otter Pops, but they're like
Yeah, you put them into
Oh,
you put them into
yeah.
the freezer, and you'd have like a little tube, and you'd separate them out, and you'd have a little frozen treat, and they'd have different characters on each flavor and different names on them and stuff.
yeah. We don't have like characters, but we still have like those things. They're
Otter
still a
Pop
thing.
is a name brand for those. There's
Yeah,
several
could be.
different ones.
That's true. I'm sure there's several different things. I just the ones in my area were Otter Pops.
Yep, they have they're actually creepy looking critters on there.
Yeah, they're kind of long, sort of rodent looking things.
Like an otter.
I got an otter.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh my god.
What about Jiffy Pop?
Oh sure,
Jiffy Pop.
they still have.
Yeah, you can still
so
find
it's
those.
cool.
Yeah.
You can still find those at certain places, but they're not desirable at all.
Oh,
what's
that's
micro?
like that. That's like that popcorn that's in Scream.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes, yeah, that's yeah. When microwave popcorn in the bags first came out, that was a relatively, I think, wasn't that like in the early '80s,
Late 80s.
late '80s? Yeah, that was a big thing. It's like, oh wow, you don't have to like heat up the grill anymore or have the Jiffy Pop kind of thing. You just put the bag in there. Like, ooh, it's so neat.
Fruit stripe gum
Fruit
you can
stripe
actually
gum.
still buy.
Fruit by the foot.
Fruit by the foot.
Oh, I remember Fruit by the Foot. Do they still make
They
fruit
still sell it.
roll-ups?
Yeah,
We had the fruit roll-ups. I don't know if they still do it. They probably do, but they had like tongue tattoos on them.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And you would like press it to your tongue and do like some stupid smeared design on it.
Micro Machines.
Oh yeah.
What's a micro
Machines
And
and,
then-
muscles. Do you remember the muscle figures?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah,
I remember
muscles
the
and,
muscle.
and
Micro
army
Machines.
ants. Army ants was the other one too. That's not most people don't remember. But army ants, micro machines, and muscles are like the collectibles.
Or like
of the
micro
planet.
machines like Hot Wheels.
Yeah, but
Yes.
they're tiny little cars.
They're little.
Itsy bitsy.
And they had the guy who was the fastest talker in the world would do their
John
commercials.
Matsuda, I think his name was, and he was the
Oh,
world
Billy
record.
Mays.
Billy Mays here.
Billy Mays
Oh
here.
yeah.
They're not gonna have Billy
He's not
Mays.
that old. Billy Mays.
I
isn't
still
that
get
old.
upset when it's like the new OxyClean guy.
Now, if you want like the pitch man from my days, it was the guy that was selling the Encyclopedia Britannica. Remember me? That really nerdy kid with like the mullet. It was like, remember me?
Oh god.
Remember that at all, Monkey?
Nope.
I don't.
Okay.
The pitch people that come to mind when if you're talking about something specific is where's the beef lady?
Yes.
The kid who sold Dells that ended up like
Oh,
beating
yeah.
up a prostitute or something.
Yeah.
I forget what the hell he did.
I remember the
Oh.
guy who did the late night, like that's amazing sort of infomercials with the really bad sweaters.
Micro? No, not Micro. What the hell was his name?
Not Micro. Well, I mean, there's a couple of guys. One of the guys that you'd recognize if you saw his face, I'd have to find his name, but he just got like jailed for like fraud or something.
I'm thinking of the one. I'm thinking of actual Amazing Discoveries because there were a lot of knockoffs too. But
Yeah.
he always had that ugly sweater on.
Yeah,
it
the
was
glasses
great.
and the ugly sweater. I remember the best episode was that I ever saw was when he did Jack LaLanne's Juicer. And
Oh,
Jack,
yeah.
and Jack LaLanne was on there, and they were talking, and in the middle of one of the bits, Jack LaLanne looks at the guy and says, "Hey, that's exactly like we practiced it." And the guy's like, she's like, "Shush."
Yeah.
Someone said Rubik's cubes, and I just want
Thank
to
you,
say,
Fritz.
as somebody who owns upwards of 70 Rubik's cubes, you can still
They're
get
still
Rubik's
the thing.
cubes.
Well, they went away for a while. They were really, really big in the mid to late 80s, and then you just
Yeah.
didn't see them again until late 90s.
And they're not all
Oh,
3x3s. Like, they're different. It's not just 70
Yeah, there's
they
a
have
bunch of
Rubik's
different ones.
Rubik's cubes.
Oh,
I just
geez. Ron
Um,
Popeil, Susan Powder. Yeah, Ron Popeil and the Pocket Fisherman.
The last
Susan Powder.
super chat.
super chat, was blowing into video game cartridges,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which actually worked.
Yes, it did.
Oh yeah. Or at least we told ourselves it did.
Yeah.
It did something.
Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh,
What made
yes.
that so great was that it was the only time you could see cartoons.
Right.
And I was always a lazy kid. I would stay up really, really late, even on school nights, which used to drive my mom nuts.
Mhm.
But then I'd want to sleep in, and on Saturdays was really the only day I could sleep in. So I always woke up when they had the shitty ones on just before noon,
Mm-hmm.
right before it turned to crappy movie of the weeks. So I never really got to see the great ones.
Oh God.
Yeah,
I wonder if Ernest Angley is dead yet. You guys remember him? The church dude that comes on after the Saturday morning cartoon.
No,
The you are spatial to God, dude.
what, was
Hey,
your,
Direwolf.
what was your favorite Saturday morning cartoons, Monkey?
Super Friends.
I liked Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, Mr. T,
And I liked Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo, Smurfs, Snorks.
Do they still make Scooby-Doo episodes?
Oh, they've got movies and stuff coming out all
Yeah.
the time. They still make.
I'm not
Still
gonna
making
lie.
movies.
I watched a fuck ton of Powerpuff Girls. I'm not even gonna lie.
My children did. They liked.
I watched the shit out of it. And that and Dexter's Laboratory was my shit. And Ed, and Eddie, I was like, yeah, these are my shows.
G.I. Joe and Jem and He-Man.
You watched Gem?
Oh, sure.
I'm gonna
I was a
judge
little
you for
kid.
that.
Yeah, sorry.
Animaniacs was good too. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh wow, wow! There's a lot of good stuff.
Gummy
going
bears,
through the-
gummy bears, bouncing
Yes.
here and there and everywhere.
I'm not singing with you. Stop it.
You don't have to sing. I'll sing for you. It's fine.
No, I was just
Oh,
saying
wait.
because you almost had me singing.
Oh,
This one might be unique to me, but back when the Game Boy, like the original Game Boy came out, like when you wanted to play at night, you had to like lean towards the window and get the street light because
Yeah, wasn't
attachment
that
yeah.
for it?
yeah.
Like, where it was like, here, have this clip-on light that's $90.
Oh yeah, well, eventually they came out with that, but beforehand I had to use the street light, and like, cause my mom was like, it was lights out after a certain time, and she would pop in, and I'm just like, I'm sleeping, but I had to use the street light through the window in order to play because there was no backlight on the Nintendo back then.
Do you remember Captain Power, Monkey?
Yes.
Do you remember Captain N, the Nintendo cartoon show?
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, Captain N. So it was a kid that every show started with the little opening where the guy got sucked into the video game, and then he has to run around with his friends Mega Man and Simon Belmont.
Yeah.
And then of course there was the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god, that was horrible.
Oh yeah, it was
It was
awesome.
bad.
Oh, it was horrible.
Oh, and like
What was-
Captain Lou Albano. Captain Lou Albano was Mario. It was
Mario.
awesome.
Yeah.
When
What was the
Disney
Hulk
would
Hogan
be
TV show? Was it
racist
called?
without it being
There
like,
was a WWF cartoon show.
I can't remember if was that just the actual name WWF.
He might have had something else, but there was like a WWF cartoon show, like Junkyard Dog, and
Oh, I missed them. They had some
Yeah.
great characters. The
Oh,
old wrestling characters were much better than today.
yeah,
Today they're more, I'm a man, and before it was like I'm a
I'm
good. Who was the dude that walked around with the 2x4?
Well, there's Hacksaw Jim Duggan. That's
Yes,
Jim Duggan.
yes.
And you had like Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man,
Yep.
and you had Jake
Rowdy
the
Roddy
Snake,
Piper.
Roddy Piper was my favorite. Jake the Snake Roberts was up there too.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, and then of course you had the managers like Miss
Yes.
Miss Elizabeth
Yep.
and
Yep.
Mouth of the South. Oh God, those guys are so cool.
Oh, somebody said pagers. Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Those are pretty much gone these days.
Sergeant Slaughter. Oh yeah, when Sergeant Slaughter ended up on GI Joe, that was so weird.
Yes.
It's like, and when he did his own voice on the cartoon, he sounded so awesome.
Do you remember?
Coco Beware, Iron Sheik. Oh my God, I'm having flashbacks.
Refrigerator Perry had a GI Joe character.
Oh yeah, the Refrigerator Perry. Yeah, he had. I forget what his. I think it was just called the Fridge.
Yep.
Yeah, and he has a football jersey on, and he like I think he had didn't he have like a big battle hammer or something he ran around with? For some reason,
That part I
feel
don't
like
remember. I just remember they got the gap between his teeth painted in there, right? That's another one that the kids today will never know is getting a actual toy in your cereal box.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I was on the tail end of that because when I was little, we got them, but I think by the time I was 8 or 9, we didn't.
Yeah, your cereal probably came with a pony.
You know what's even worse about the fact that they can't experience that? The reason why they can't experience it because they're like, this generation's children are too stupid not to eat it.
Right. Choking hazard.
This case, a cereal box will be $14.
Right.
Like your cereal box would have to come with like a waiver form or something.
Yes.
Right.
Speaking of which, sorry.
I was gonna say what brought me to that is I remember getting Emperor Palpatine as a character from collecting cereal box tops and having to send them in.
Oh, D says,
they still do the box top thing.
The
though.
Super Bowl Shuffle, yes.
the Super Bowl Shuffle, yeah.
What was the other one? The Cincinnati Bengals did one too. That same year.
I remember that one.
It wasn't as good. Billy Beer, that's a little bit old for me.
That is a little bit old. The one I was going to say is a time before there were cotton balls and sealers on bottles of medicine.
Yeah,
You know what caused that to happen?
That was the scare with tainted Tylenol.
Yeah, the cyanide tainted Tylenol up in Chicago and elsewhere. Like I think 6 or 7 people died from taking pills of Tylenol that were laced with cyanide.
It's the
They never caught that guy. They never caught that guy.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, the big scare at Halloween was always somebody was going to have razor blades and apples.
Yep, razor blades and apples.
And I always felt like I would notice the cut marks. I wasn't that dumb of a kid.
Yeah, we got told that too, razor blades and shit like that.
I like those.
Now we have, I don't know if you guys have this, but like our big Baptist mega churches have trunk or treating, where instead of trick or treating, you take your kids like trunk to trunk in a fucking parking lot.
Oh yeah.
That's a great way to get kidnapped.
It's like, and that is
It's
such
like-
absolute horse shit. Like, how dare you ruin Halloween? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Hey kid, I got some candy in my trunk.
I mean, you can't expect them to like honor it properly. They're at church. But, I'm just like, that's pretty hilarious. I mean, the getaway vehicle is right there. It's just
And
like,
it's
hey,
not
kid.
like an extra thing. It's literally a replacement for real trick or treating.
Well, they have a thing around here where businesses will do a whatever Saturday's closest to Halloween.
Yeah, we have that too.
Yeah,
but
so
it's not,
that's
like,
at least not trunks in the
not,
parking lot.
replacing it.
Yeah, well, because after kids leave that, they go actual trick or treating.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But with this, it's like literally because they've decided, because like the Baptist people, because they don't call it Halloween. They literally just call it trunk or treat night because they're afraid of Halloween.
Trunk or treat night.
Yeah.
I always used to get mad.
Really?
That Halloween, we had to go to school, or still had school on Halloween. I thought that was wrong.
Same.
Soleil Moon Fry.
Yeah, somebody said
Punky Brewster.
Yeah, somebody said Punky Brewster, and I was about to say I unfortunately have memorized part of the theme song from the cartoon show of Punky Brewster.
Oh,
yeah.
I miss really good songs coming from TV shows.
One of the catchiest, and you can find this on YouTube. One of the catchiest cartoon theme songs was to the Karate Kid cartoon show.
Oh, that was a
really
crappy
good
show.
It was a crappy show, but the opening song has actually got a really catchy hook to it. And anybody who wants to look it up, you can find it pretty easy.
I also miss those sitcoms where they weren't a single plot line. Every episode was independent. You didn't have to watch the one before.
You mean
to
like
know what the
Love
hell's going on.
American style?
No, I mean even like Three's Company. Every one of those
okay, all right.
is a standalone show.
Yeah, okay, legit.
That's another one of those shows that could never be made today.
Oh,
Too
no
many
kidding.
gay jokes.
Oh, and yeah, and 2 women living with a man kind of thing and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, that was back then when nobody cared.
Mr. Roper and Mr. Furley being all
Or the
offended at
or
fags.
the Carol Burnett show. That would never be allowed today.
That is still watching. One of my favorite things to look up on YouTube is with them cracking each other up.
Oh yeah. When Harvey Korman and what's his name? The guy who did the Dorf videos.
Tim.
Yeah, Tim something. Tim Conway.
Yeah.
When Conway and Corman started like trying to make each other crack up on air, because that show was taped. Was it taped live? I think it was.
Yes.
Like yeah, before an audience and everything. They would work so hard to crack each other up, and man, that was so hilarious.
Tim Conway is one of the best straight men ever.
Yes, Apple Dumpling Gang.
Oh my God, he's awesome.
Him and Don Knotts.
Laughing. That's again a little bit older than me, but I have seen.
Yeah.
I remember when it started playing on cable at night.
Yeah, Nick at Night used to play all the good old stuff.
Oh, you guys remember Guts?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Guts. Yeah, Guts. That was my shit. The game was fun too, believe it or not. I was like, this game's gonna be garbage, and it was actually pretty entertaining. I was fairly shocked, but I watched Guts and what was it, the Hidden Temple or some shit?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, Finders Keepers, and Double Dare.
Yeah.
Oh, Soap. That's an old ass show.
That's a really old show. Yeah, that was that B. Arthur.
I don't. The only person I remember from that is Billy Crystal because he played the gay character.
That's right. Soap. God, what other cruddy TV shows do I remember? Rocky Road. A family that owned an ice cream stand or something. I remember that show.
Different Strokes was one of my favorite shows.
My Two Dads. Yeah, Different Strokes, Silver Spoons.
Different Strokes is just still one of the greatest ideas ever.
And I tell you what, there was that one episode where Arnold gets molested by the Maytag man. It was so fucked up. It's like on a very special episode of Different Strokes. Like, holy shit.
That was one I thought of earlier. I forgot to bring up is the very special episodes. You don't see those anymore. Everything's a very special
episode of Saved by the Bell dealing with like pot.
Yeah.
Johnny Dakota, the pop star, teen idol or whatever, came to the school and like, hey, you want to try some pot? No, we don't do drugs.
Yes.
And then it was what was it? Brandon Tartikoff, the president of NBC, came on screen at the end of the show and said, "Only dopes do dope" or something. It was
God. After school specials.
After school specials.
Those always involved either drugs or getting molested or. Pretty much drugs are being molested.
You know what the one that always burned in my memory, and this is really weird. This is actually really good. So you know Sam Rockwell, the actor?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the earliest things he did was an ABC after school special or something that was based on a real story, and it had to do with a kid that had gotten drunk at a party, decided to drive home, ended up hitting a girl and killing her. And the judge, after like probation and everything else because of his youth or something else, one part of his sentence, and apparently this is a true story.
The payment?
Yes, he had.
Yes, I saw that one.
Yeah, he had to write a check for $1 every day for the amount of time that the girl was alive, for like 17 years or something. And so every day he had to write a new check, and this guilt hung over him that he like wrote out all the checks he would ever have to write and sent them all to him at once, and they sent them back and said no. You got to keep doing this, and it was so simple, but such a really powerful show. And Sam Rockwell, like just being a really great actor at that age, it was amazing.
Mm-hmm. That was I remember that one.
Yeah,
that's some shit that if that don't hang over your head after that, man.
It was.
Well, it drove him crazy. I mean,
it did.
He didn't write the checks all at once. At first, he was doing it one at a time, and it just was killing him.
Yeah.
Which it should.
Yeah. And there was another one where like it was like teen pregnancy. And the guy got a girl knocked up and everything. And the very last shot of the show I remember is our dad is behind the counter at an ice cream store. His wife or whatever is standing there with the baby in her arms, and his best friend who he's supposed to go off to college with and everything is standing there in his business suit and his briefcase, and it's just showing this like, don't let this happen to you kind of message. It was so
oh my God.
Oh yeah, do you remember the skinny skateboards of the 70s?
Oh yeah, the longboards
made out of hard plastic, and you couldn't actually stay on them with roller skate wheels on there.
Oh man, just skaters in general. I mean, I know they still exist, obviously, but maybe skateboarding was like a thing back then. I mean, that was like the thing that cool people did.
We had a half pipe in my backyard.
Nice.
My brother built it himself.
Schoolhouse Rock, WKRP, yeah.
Yeah, Schoolhouse Rock. That was good.
Johnny Fever.
Yes.
Old game shows like $64,000 Pyramid and Press Your Luck.
Yeah. Oh, Press Your Luck was such a fucked up show. Did you ever see the guy who beat the system on there?
Oh, there's a documentary about it on YouTube. Oh, it's great. Memorized the pattern and everything, and just just knocked it out of the park. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that one day where
Yeah,
I was watching game show bloopers. If you guys are ever bored, do that shit because that shit is funny.
Oh,
like
man.
stupid game show answers. These people are completely fucking idiotic.
Especially
the
the
greatest
Newlywed
one
Game.
is the Newlywed Game.
Yes.
There was a girl.
I
there
can't
was a
really
question. Oh, well, there was a question. It was, where's the strangest place you've had sex?
Yep.
Well, actually, they said make whoopee because that's how they said it on the show.
Yeah.
And the girl's answer was in the butt.
Yeah. It was the greatest. Oh, that's such a great
You
clip.
should look it up. It's worth watching because everybody loses it.
If you want to see a really creepy one, there's an episode of The Dating Game way back when, where a guy that would eventually be uncovered to be a serial killer is one of the contestants.
Nice.
His name was I want to say it was like Joey Alcada, and he had like at the point that he was on the show, they think he'd already killed like 9 people at that point.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I like the
creepy.
Family Feud answers where the dude had asked him. He was like, "Name an animal that has 3 letters in its name," and that motherfucker was like, "Elephant."
Yes.
Man, Family Feud. Like, see, a Richard Dawson hosted it originally, and he used to be on Hogan's Heroes, and then he played Killian in The Running Man, the host of the game show that was actually going to kill him. And then Ray Combs took over for him, and Ray Combs eventually killed himself because after the Family Feud, he couldn't get any work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he started out on Nickelodeon, took over that, and that's actually a horrible story.
Yeah, it is.
Why did he off himself?
He was manic depression, and also like he was kind of typecast after hosting the Family Feud for like, God, I don't know, like 9 years or 9 seasons or something, and then nobody would hire him for anything else because he was too recognizable as the Family Feud guy.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Kitchens before microwaves. I remember when we got our first microwave. It was like that was game changing.
Yeah.
It really was. I remember cooking like they used to make little trays so you could cook bacon in there and it would still get crispy, and it never did.
Or heck, TV trays in general. My family had a set with, and especially TV dinners like, ooh, Salisbury steak.
Yes, I actually still love Salisbury steak, but they're so small now.
I like
you got to eat like the whole package.
I always got the one with the fried chicken and the brownie. That was
those
my
brownies
favorite.
always sucked.
Oh, for some reason I like those brownies. It was just small enough that it didn't make me sick.
Yeah, back then I remember them being good. Like as a kid, I remember like, oh, this is enjoyable. But now I'm like, oh God.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like microwave cake. I think it was. I swear to God, it was just like, you guys ever made a like? Because my mom used to do that back in the day. She used to make like these little really mini cakes. You just get cake batter and put it in the microwave or whatever. And if you put like a cup of water in there, it'll stay moist. And it was they were not good, but that's what we had to do when we were.
Kid cuisines, guys. I eat them.
Oh yeah, kid cuisines were all right back in the day.
Oh, handy snacks.
Hungry man.
Hungry man. Do you remember like I don't even know if they do these anymore. I don't watch TV, like board game commercials for like Crossfire and Fireball. Crossfire. You've been caught in the Crossfire, or Fireball Island, or Mousetrap.
Oh yeah, they still do those, but you only see those around Christmas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or like action figure commercials, we'd have like 3 kids like playing the characters and like making voices and stuff, and then
they still do those on like if
Okay.
you watch like Nickelodeon or something like that.
They're just way more cringy now.
I don't know if they're more cringy or if we're just not 5.
Yeah, probably.
What about like really dangerous toys for kids? I remember getting a microscope that had actual fucking chemicals in it. They came with a warning that said not to mix certain ones.
Oh yeah.
I remember wood burning kits.
I was about to say wood burning kits and those make your own electronics at home kind of things with the iron. Yeah.
You can't let kids have stuff like that.
Easy bake ovens then, because like that was like a legit oven.
Oh,
dude.
Well, yeah. Blood
just with a light bulb.
Yeah, it's a light bulb.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a hot light bulb.
Yeah, just a heated light bulb.
And those things are horrible. My daughter had one, and I had to eat those fucking cakes. because I'm a good
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah, my dad had to eat them too.
What about the toy guns before they put the little orange plug at the end?
Right, because
Man.
kids kept getting shot by cops.
Yeah, exactly. They still do in some
I
places.
shouldn't laugh at that. That's horrible.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Well,
But it was funny.
They
I used to
only
get-
get shot when they take it off.
Well, I pulled mine off because it's supposed to look like a
Ruined the
real gun.
illusion.
Oh yeah.
Or super soakers. That was like
Ooh.
the solution to the whole thing. There's the giant
about
Super
shank on.
soakers.
Scribe,
They
did you
still
have a
make
pair
super
of?
soakers?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
They're fucking awesome these days.
They're way, yeah, hell yeah.
You
They're
can
way
like
more
kill
elaborate
somebody
now.
with one. You could put out house fires with them.
Hell yeah. They got a fucking super soaker crossbow. And I was like, how
Yes.
the fuck does that even work?
Wait, do they really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they
Yeah.
do.
You should look them up. There's a lot of cool stuff. Scribe, did you have parachute pants?
No, I did have a pair of jams though. Do you remember jams?
Oh, jams, yeah.
Yeah, I had a pair of jams and my sort of like Converse slip-ons.
Oh yeah.
And my TNC surf design shirts.
You didn't have Chuck E. T's? Everybody has to have a pair of Chuck Taylors.
Well, Chuck Taylor All Stars, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
you
no,
said
I had
toe
those
tops.
too.
I mean,
Well, I had let's see, it was either I either had red Converse high tops or I remember there was a short time where I had a couple of pairs of Vans with like patterns on them and stuff. That was I was a real little kid.
Did you guys have moon shoes? Somebody said
Moon
moon
boots?
shoes in the
Yeah, moon
chat.
boots. Yeah, there was around those.
yeah.
I remember those.
They're basically like the Uggs grandparents at this point.
Oh, you know what I never see kids playing with now? Pogo sticks.
Oh yeah. Do you
We
remember
used to
pogo
fuck
balls?
ourselves up on pogo
Oh, yeah,
sticks.
pogo-
Mhm.
Yeah, pogo balls.
One of the
what
worst
about the,
injuries I ever got was on a fucking pogo ball.
What was that
Oh,
thing
man.
called? Where it was like called a skip ball or something? Where you put a little ring around your
Oh,
Oh,
and you
yeah,
have to skip over it, and it's got like a
Yeah,
thing,
it's
like
got a
you
little
hit
roller ball.
It
yourself
had a
with
really
it, and you're
catchy
like,
song.
Yeah, I forget what that was. Oh, my buddy, my buddy, my
Oh god.
buddy.
Those-
Wherever
those
I
things are so
go,
creepy.
you're gonna go. That was, and of course that was the inspiration for Child's Play and Chucky, which I always
Yeah.
thought was amazing. And then when that movie came out, that was amazing because it's like, oh my god, all the Cabbage Patch dolls and all the My Buddy dolls are gonna kill you. It's awesome.
apparently they were called Skippets.
Skip
Yeah,
it.
Skip It,
That's
there you
right.
go.
Yeah, skip it.
I
I had
had
a
those. That hurt.
I had a Michael Jackson zip up jacket or zipper jacket.
Oh, like the red one.
No, mine was because if you watch Beverly Hills Cop,
Yes.
there's a scene where he passes two people wearing them. One's wearing red, and one's wearing black. I had the black one.
Oh, okay. So you had more of the bad jacket
Yeah.
than the
Well, of
Thriller
course, I'm a
jacket.
bad
yeah.
boy.
Thriller. I mean,
Um,
Thriller in general. That thing was like that music. I mean, it was basically a mini movie.
That changed MTV.
It did. And MTV in general. Let's go back to MTV
Yeah.
playing music.
Oh, yeah. When it
videos.
used to be about music.
Yeah. God damn.
And then Michael Jackson made Thriller, and it became all about making a really good video. Because if you watch the videos for maybe 2 years after Thriller,
Yeah.
and then going all the way back to the beginning, so that time frame from the beginning
Mhm.
to 2 years after Thriller, there are some horrifically bad videos.
Yes, they're really cheap. And then, of course, Michael Jackson could afford to hire John Landis, who did American
Yeah.
Werewolf in London, to do the effects and everything on his little video, and
Well-
Vincent Price to do the voice. So I mean, it's still a great video. Holy shit!
That whole album, and yeah, it was an album, guys.
Yeah, Thriller.
Was a game changer in itself because Michael Jackson had fucking Eddie Van Halen playing on Beat It.
Yes.
Hey
And
guys, Bay
Yeah.
just wants me to say that we've done a really good job because we stayed on topic for more than 2 minutes.
Right.
we made it almost an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been on topic since we started.
Oh,
Look at us
crap.
go.
Russell says slap bracelets. I remember those.
Oh yeah,
my- yeah.
Those are still a thing, though, right?
Yeah,
Are
they
they?
still make them?
They're
Yeah,
like
they're still a
hard to
thing.
get a hold of.
Satsu has a ton of them.
No, I
You
used
answered
to.
real quick on that.
No, I just remember seeing like my little sister used to play with them all the time when I still stayed with my mom, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
when I go over to my mom's house now, I still see them around the house. Like they're still
Yeah.
all over.
Yeah,
the
I
place.
remember like in school, if you had like a slap bracelet, it was like a big fucking deal. I remember like going home one day because like half the kids in my class had one. And I was like, Mom, I need a slap bracelet. And she was like, What?
My mom
Did
would have
you-
told me to fuck off.
Yeah, I never got one.
Aw,
Let's see. Light
somebody
Bright.
send her one.
Remember Light Bright?
Oh yeah, light brights
Yeah.
are cool.
And there was also like at least 2 or 3 kids in my neighborhood had those automated rock polisher things where you'd like put them in little sand and everything and like find rocks in your neighborhood and just put them in there and turn them into like little diamonds and shit.
Oh, those pin things that you can like. Are these like the ones where you can stick your face in them, or is that something different?
Oh, the pin pads.
Like I looked up Light Bright. I think what I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, you don't stick your face in a light bright.
Because there's another one where you can stick your face in it. It'll like hold.
Yeah, the little pad with all the little metal pins that you can put your hand in and retain your handprint for a second.
Yeah.
They got those now, but the pins aren't metal anymore. They're like.
No, we're not talking about Light Bright. I'm talking about like the little metal pad things that you put your hand or face on and retain the shape for a second.
Yeah, well, I looked up a Light Bright and I thought that's what it was for a second.
Yeah.
No, Scribe, those things you're talking about, they sell at Target. They still got them there.
I'm sure
Circuit City. Do you guys remember Circuit City?
Oh, yeah.
Circuit City, dude.
Do you remember Silo?
Silo.
Oh, it was like the Best Buy of its day. Maybe it's a regional thing. I don't know.
Kmart. Kids today will not know about Kmart.
Yeah. I mean, and some of the places still exist. You can still do actual layaway there, which is like foreign as fuck to people. Whenever I like mention layaway to like younger people, they're like, "What?"
I do miss catching fireflies. We used to spend hours doing that.
Up until like last year or so.
Foggy says Monchichi monkeys, the Monchichis. I remember that cartoon.
It was like Monchichi.
Monchichi, and they had the headbands and like the little monkey froze. Yeah, Monchichi.
A little monkey face. I actually knew a girl who looked like one, and she would get so mad when I call her that.
Oh man!
Like, well, stop looking like one.
Oh, you remember the song that doesn't end?
Yeah.
This is a song. Yeah.
American Bandstand. And
Solid Gold.
Solid Gold, American Bandstand. And Bandstand. Like Dick Clark was still doing it forever at that point.
Apparently in other countries, Kmart isn't like a crappy, sketchy place.
Well, it's apparently huge in Australia, which...
Yeah, like here, a Kmart...
Makes a lot of sense.
There are a bunch of criminals down there.
Yeah.
They don't know what the fuck bacon is.
They think the K stands for kangaroo.
No.
Okay, I got a question for you guys. What is the first CD you ever owned?
Probably a Britney Spears CD.
Porno for
Makes
Pyros.
sense.
The first CD I ever owned.
Mine was LL Cool J's Bad.
Yeah, I remember I got my first CD player when I was like 12 or something, and the very first CD I bought was Porno for Pyros, which, for those of you that don't know, is just Perry Farrell's spin-off project after Jane's Addiction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid to say the first CD I ever owned because now I just remember what it was.
Uh-oh.
Vanilla Ice.
It wasn't something I bought, though. Like, somebody had given me a CD player because they're like, I don't fucking want this thing anymore.
Just go with it. Just say it.
And the CD that was in it that they gave me was an Evanescence CD. And I listened to it because it was the only CD I had.
Apparently, when I was like a couple months, I don't know how old I was because I've been told this story by my parents, but apparently I was held by Vanilla Ice on a plane.
Nice.
And my parents, already being 40 by the time that I was like, 2 months old, had no fucking clue who that was.
You got held by Robert Van Winkle. Yeah, that's it.
Going back to Evanescence for a second, or however the fuck you say their name.
Yeah.
The video for My Immortal, if I was 14, I would fap to that every day.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen My Immortal.
And it's not even actually that sexual. It's just she is.
She's got a really, really nice voice. Like, have you heard her like sing? Like outside of like the rock music and stuff, just like her singing.
Her voice is ear porn.
Yeah, she's got a really, really nice voice.
First vinyl was Prince's Purple Rain. That's a nice way to start.
My parents had George Carlin concerts on vinyl. They had like the albums. It was great. They had the one with
ones with
his
Hippy Dippy Weatherman and
Hippy Dippy Weatherman and like. Thank you for listening to Wonderful Wino, WINO.
Yes.
I like
I don't know why you would fap to this.
I like the terms, the shit that like the unnecessary shit that people say. I think it was talk about if we're talking about the same person. where he was like, where he was saying like, we have a situation, and he was like,
Oh,
everything's
a situation.
Oh, we do that.
Final destination. All destinations are final.
You're robot thing, dude.
But I miss him.
Yeah.
Who was that?
George
Carlin.
George
Am
Carlin.
I roboting, or is everybody else roboting?
I think that's you.
Yeah.
Is it me? Uh-oh.
Laser
An
discs.
18-year-old
Oh,
dates a 17-year-old. Is it that considered? That's not like a remember thing. Shut up.
It could be for him. In most
No.
states, no, it's not. Depends, but do
It's
check your
not
state
like
laws.
any philia. It's just you like somebody that's the same fucking age as you guys. Like, shut up.
Did you guys listen to the Jerky Boys?
Oh yeah.
Are you talking about the Jersey Boys, or is like there another?
No, Jerky Boys were prank call team.
Yeah, and they released it on like CD, so everybody could
Their
hear
movie sucked, but their prank call stuff was funny.
No, that doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, you should check them out. Actually, the reason I asked that is my daughter's kind of boyfriend thingy. He asked me the other day if I'd ever heard of him. I'm like,
her kind of boyfriend thingy.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it.
Okay,
Don't want to get into
all right,
it.
okay.
Okay.
I was about to make a really off-color joke. So
We're just gonna say her boyfriend thingy.
Okay.
All right.
Is her boyfriend thingy battery operated?
Laserdisc was a. I'm answering questions here. A Laserdisc was just like a DVD, but it was the size of a record album.
Yeah, that's all it was.
And like 4 people in the whole country owned them.
No. So the video store I worked at, it catered. Well, I can't get too specific. I give myself away, but there was a very large contingent of very technophile people who love Laserdisc. And the thing was, when DVDs first came out, there were a lot of companies and specifically some directors that would not allow their movies to appear on DVD until they figured out the pirating risks of it. So Disney, Spielberg, a whole bunch of studios just said, no, we're not going to release anything on DVD. So for a long time, the only way to watch Disney movies in digital was on Laserdiscs before they decided that they were feeling okay about putting it on DVD.
If they owned a Laserdisc, they probably owned a Betamax. Probably, yes.
Probably, yeah.
Scribe fact of the day.
I know, I'm full of it.
And again,
I always learn some shit when I'm in fucking streams with Scribe, like shit that I'd like have no desire to know.
Yeah, like it's weird sex stuff for the most part.
I don't know, I'm just full of amazing stuff. Ask me sometime about the battle between DVD and DivX.
Oh boy,
DivX.
No, just stop.
Ask me sometime. I wasn't going to do it now.
It's not now. Stop it.
Rekisto. Oh my God, I love you, P Dog Knight. Do you know what Rekisto is?
No.
It's in the chat there.
What's a Rekisto?
Oh, thank you for doing that. That comes from a movie called Under the Cherry Moon. Prince is in this movie, and there's this really rich girl, and they're having a conversation about how she thinks she's really smart, and he writes that on a napkin, I think it is, and yes, it's a record store, and she just keeps going, "What's a Rekisto?" Yeah.
Rekisto.
What's a Rekisto?
Oh my God.
Yep. Where do you go to buy a Sam Cooke album? Oh, P Dog, you are my new friend.
Wait, is that another thing that like if I say it, you'll laugh at me?
If you ask what?
But no, I don't want to ask it.
No, go ahead and ask.
No.
What?
No.
There are no stupid questions.
Yes,
Only
there
stupid
are.
people who ask them. Oh, Sometimes It Snows in April is an excellent song. But I prefer the Ballad of Christopher Tracy.
No, wait, go back. What does that mean?
What, Rekisto?
No, the Sam Cooke thingy.
I'm sorry. When he's talking to her, trying to get her to understand what a Rekisto is, he asks her, "Where would you go to buy a Sam Cooke album?"
Oh, okay. I was
Now
like,
be-
if I say
at a
that out
Rekisto.
loud, it's going to be another thing that I don't know what I'm saying.
Oh man.
Trying to outsmart you.
Oh boy.
Sorry, that just made my night. Thank you so much for that.
Do you remember Banjo the Woodpile Cat?
I have
Say
never.
what?
No.
You know,
Okay.
like the most obscure things.
It was a Don Bluth short cartoon. You can find it on YouTube. It was something that I used to watch when I was a little kid.
Just because you can find it on YouTube does not mean that it's not obscure.
I didn't say it wasn't obscure. I was just
But-
asking.
If he knows it, it's probably obscure.
It's probably true.
Yes.
Wait, why are y'all acting like there aren't tarot cards anymore? I have a tarot card collection.
Do you?
Yeah,
Because
Hmm.
they're stupid.
fuck you.
Big dummies
Um,
play with those.
Or
One
heck,
of these
just
days, she should do a reading for us all.
what now?
I said one of these days she should do a reading for
She's
us.
doing a stream, just doing nothing but readings for people to come on and
Yeah.
give her money. I mean, that's how she can make money. It's like, give me
Oh.
five. Yeah, put $5 into the hat, and I'll give you a reading. Yeah. Or you have
Speaking
them.
of putting $5 in the hat, guys, there's a little
Yeah.
dollar sign at the bottom if you'd like to donate to the Ranting Monkey.
Yeah, all this free entertainment of us reminiscing about things you've probably never heard of before, or if you have, it's like ancient history.
I'm
And the
trying to.
award for smoothest transition goes to
Thank you.
Yeah.
Garbage Pail Kids were awesome.
Yes.
the
Garbage Pail
Pail
Kids.
Kids. Those movies were terrifying.
Yes. Yes.
Well, there
They
was only
still
that
have
one
Blue
movie.
Clues.
Though. Well, yeah, that one. It was terrifying.
It's awful. It was awful, but it was. I went to the theater to see it. I remember that. Yeah.
You go to the theater a lot.
I went to the theater a lot when I was a kid because there was one like right down next to the video store, and I mean even when I wasn't working there as a kid, I'd go down there. I could walk to the mall quite easily from where I lived, and I'd go down there and I'd do like 2 or 3 because I remember matinee prices. I remember when it was actually cheap to
Oh,
go
yeah.
to the matinee, which these days it isn't. Yeah, I'd go see 2 or 3 movies at a time
Y'all's
down
like
there.
theaters don't do matinee stuff anymore.
Well, they do.
They
It's
do,
just
but-
not cheaping. It's still
not
not
It
cheap
cheap.
used to be
anymore.
cheap.
Like cheap.
Yeah.
Like
We
two,
have
two,
one that
$3
does-
a ticket or something. It was amazing back then.
We've got one.
Yeah.
We have one that does something like that.
See, somebody else said that the Garbage Pail movie was atrocious. It really was, but it's one of
Yes.
those that I love because of how bad it is.
There's this scene.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Mario movie.
Yeah, there's this one scene in that movie where part of the plot basically was all these Garbage Pail Kids were like Rumpelstiltskins and they could like make clothes or something.
Hmm.
And so the kid who found them, he was trying to impress this older girl by like giving her all these free clothes that she then started selling out of her car. And
Yeah.
there's this scene where there's all these people crowded around trying to buy these clothes, and some girl said, "I love your shirt," and she's like, "Oh, you want it?" And she took off her shirt. She's got a bra on, and of course she's like 18 or 17 or something actress, and the kid's eyes just get all big, like, "Oh my god!"
Oh yeah, I remember
And,
that.
I like, and this is like a little kids movie. I was like, "What?"
Thank you, Fritz.
Yo, if you guys want to check out something interesting, watch the Nostalgia Critics video on the Garbage Pail Kids.
Mm,
It's pretty
Yeah.
entertaining.
it's
Have
funny.
you guys ever
Anybody
seen?
get that reference
What reference?
in the last super chat? I failed
Oh.
to see where the hat is.
No.
I was wondering what that meant.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Well, I thought because you were saying like put money in the hat.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, what did you think? What do you think it means?
I don't know. I was
Oh.
I
Yeah,
Oh.
I think
was
he was referring
curious.
to the hat.
No,
I
because
was
you were
referencing
saying
to.
like do readings and people can put like money in the hat and shit like
Right.
that.
oh, those sticky octopuses you could throw against the wall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
got
Short
dirty
circuit,
so
Johnny
quick.
Five.
They get like cat hair all over them real quick, and they'd be like
Yes.
all nasty.
And
Cat
we
you
had
guys
three
alive,
cats.
alive.
It's a movie
No disassemble.
called The Baby, and it came out in like '73. And
The
it's
little,
about like
dinosaur.
no, it's about like this mom that
Baby.
keeps like her 30-year-old son as like a baby and
Ugh.
doesn't let him walk and stuff.
They could have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I remember the movie Baby, which was about a long lost like brontosaurus baby dinosaur.
Yep.
that
No,
William
no, this
Cat
is like
found.
it's like a fucked up movie. It's really good. It was on Netflix a couple of years ago. I don't think it's still up
Okay.
though.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that sounds
It's a bizarre. It was during my horror phase that I found it.
Oh yeah, the dinosaurs TV show. It's the baby.
Yes.
Oh,
Not the
God,
mama.
That was such a weird.
Oh, do they
show.
still make Land Before Time?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they
They're
still
like on Land Before Time 400 right now.
are they okay.
I love the Land Before Time.
I don't love it.
You know,
I like the first one.
Hush.
Short Circuit would not be allowed to be made as it was today because Fisher Stevens is not actually Indian.
Right.
I mean, I just think back to like, wow, that would get so much hate.
Oh yeah.
But Ali Sheedy, man.
Oh, Ali Sheedy back in the day, but Steve Gutenberg not so much.
Right.
Johnny Five alive. That's where wasn't that what song did Prince do for that movie?
Oh God.
Was that oh God, it wasn't Raspberry Beret, but it was around that same time. Who's Johnny? They say
Yes,
and smiles
that's
in a
not
special
Prince.
way. Isn't it?
That's not Prince.
Is it not? Okay,
No.
I'm sorry.
I know the song you're
apologize.
thinking of.
I
Done
apologize.
fucked up.
I'll look it up. I because for some reason my kid brain thought that was Prince.
There's like one Land Before Time. I think it's the
El
ninth
DeBarge.
one. With
Was it El DeBarge?
Yes.
Oh, it is. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
I have actually seen the Basket Case franchise. That is a weird fucking couple of movies.
Yeah, that's like two
Okay,
of
I'm
them.
sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off there.
no, that's okay. It's like the ninth one. I don't like. I guess people around my age might remember it. And it's like Journey to Big Water with Mo. And I used to watch that one every night before I went to bed. And so I still know all the songs. And there's one about like imaginary friends. And like also, it's just.
I just hated their voices, man. I was just like, this is fucking annoying because like I used to hear them playing in the background all the time because my siblings like the movies. And like when you're not sitting there actively watching it, to hear their voices in another room for hours on end, I wanted to kill myself. I'm
So
like,
you sound a little triggered right now.
man, dude, triggered is the wrong word. Like
I will fight you.
that shit.
Throw down.
Before time.
Look, they weren't bad movies. Like I didn't
No,
like,
that's
but
fine.
I just I got a bad connection.
It's that
to it.
and Thomas and the Magic Railroad. It's like my favorite movie.
I just want to point out something. I did a video highlighting a young YouTuber the other day, and she starts one of her videos asking if a black man and a white woman get in an argument, who gets the oppression points?
Oh, I'm bisexual. I do. I win.
But I'm pumped.
Phoebe Cates. Oh, Phoebe Cates was gorgeous back in the day. I haven't seen her lately. Pole Position, the video game on the Atari 2600. We used to spend hours. We probably broke 4 or 5 joysticks on that thing.
Dude, I played Pole Position a lot on Namco Museum on the PC back in the day.
Oh, I used to love that game.
Yeah, Namco Museum was the shit. Oh man, I played Dig Dug one time for like 6 hours, and my mom
Dig Dug
thought
was
something
awesome.
was wrong with me. She was like, "Are you okay? You haven't like spoken or eaten or moved in the past 6 hours." I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm just doing really good." Or wait, the pinball game that came with every PC back in the day.
Oh yeah.
That was my shit too. Although that game almost made me that game got me grounded a few times.
Swearing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom's like, "What the hell did you say?" I'm like, nothing.
What's with the Heart Tim tweet? SCA?
What?
Somebody asked you what's with the Heart Tim tweet.
Oh, because Smarmy's an idiot. Is all.
Okay.
Just like when Charming Man does something stupid and Tim points it out, I'm thoroughly amused.
Leisure Suit Larry, the original games were funny as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the rated A games?
The point of the original Leisure Suit Larry was to try to get laid. And the only part I remember very vividly is going to a bar and finally talking this chick into having sex with me. But I forgot to put on a condom, so I got some horrible disease and died. And so you put it on a second time. I see somebody in the chat, put on that condom. You put it on a second time, and you technically have sex, but the game's not over yet because it's not good sex. So you have to go play further to find somebody that's a good partner. Puff the Magic Dragon, yes.
Yeah, I remember that. Did you guys play old PC games back in the day?
So it depends on what
you remember. You remember the original Alone in the Dark?
Oh yeah, the Alone in the Darks were like H.P. Lovecraft riffs, and the first two were really good. Oh, the first one was really good.
you had to start off with the 2 reporters. The game, like the graphics were terrible.
Well, yeah, I mean, compared to today, sure, but they were like, I mean, the first Alone in the Dark was basically like the grandfather of Resident Evil. It was like,
that's kind of where the camera, the fixed camera angles and shit.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Oh man, That game still freaks me out though. Like even though it's like super old, it still creeps me out.
Hey guys, I gotta be up super early, so.
Okay, well, thanks for coming.
I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. Thanks for having me, as always.
No
problem. You guys probably tomorrow-ish.
Tomorrow-ish.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Later.
Yeah, somebody just mentioned in the chat, my first video games on the PC were King's Quest and Star Quest.
Mine were something called Jumpman, which is like this really like educational IBM thing, and we had like my dad had like Flight Simulator, and that was his big deal.
I remember the Mavis Bacon fucking typing game or whatever. That game was fun.
Actually, Oregon Trail. Oregon Trail
was my shit, dude.
Yeah,
I still love that game.
The kids at school would leave like really nasty messages on the gravestones, so that kids coming in later would find them.
Oh man,
because it saved all the gravestones, and like, you have died of dysentery. I was like, what's dysentery? You pooped yourself to death.
You literally shit yourself to death.
I pooped to death.
Oh man, that game was fun. There was another game, a little horror game that I played back then too, called horror, called Dead Isle.
Okay.
It was like a. I thought when I remembered it, I thought it was a zombie game, but it wasn't. They were actual cannibals. Like you crash landed on this cannibal island or whatever, and it got banned in a lot of places because the death scenes, like if you got caught, they were horrific. Like you would get torn apart. Like they were like cannibal kids, and like they had like cannibal mom and cannibal dad and shit like that or whatever. And if they got you, they would literally tear your body apart. And it was like this really bloody, gory scene of them just like eating your limbs. And they banned it in like a lot of different places.
The game I bought that was banned that you couldn't find anywhere at the time was Postal. And I still love that.
Oh,
game.
yeah.
The original Postal was great. It was so brutal for the time and everything, and just so stark, and
people were bitching so much about that game.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it was the point of contention and everything. Yeah. Like Lieberman was all over that game at the time.
Somebody asked you what our favorite games were for the Atari or something else. I forget, but for Atari, my favorite was Pitfall.
I never had an Atari, so.
Yeah, it's a little young for you.
Yeah, my neighbor had an Atari. My first video game system was a NES, but Atari, there was like this tank game. I think it was just called Attack or something.
Mm-hmm.
I forget, but yeah, I like playing that with my neighbor friend. But yeah, Pitfall and
I love playing football on the original Atari because if the opposing player got away from you, you could run through the screen and tackle his ass.
Oh, yeah.
Come out the other side.
Yeah, Pac-Man did.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fucking cheap.
It was, but it worked.
No, wait, the old school Madden on Sega, when somebody got injured and the ambulance used to pull up on the field and it would like run over players to pick up the I thought that shit was so funny as a kid. I'm like, so you come and pick up this dude who fucking sprained his ankle, but you literally killed like 3 players on the way over here.
Oh, the game on Genesis I liked a lot, aside from Zombies Ate My Neighbors, was Syndicate, which was like this cyberpunk corporation versus corporation thing. You'd have to like plan assassination missions and sabotage and stuff. And it was and you had to upgrade your agents with different cybernetic implants as you made more money. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, the old school Aladdin was good too.
The Syndicate, I don't know if you have Origin. Origin gives away a free game like once a month. Yeah. And I actually got that a few months ago for free.
Oh, I got a copy of it off of Good Old Games, GOG.com for like
sweet.
$1 or something. Like the whole Syndicate series they were selling at one point for like $4 or whatever. And yeah, GOG.com, this is a free plug. Great, sometimes much better than Steam because you don't have to be logged into GOG to play a game. You just download it. But yeah, the Syndicate thing.
I actually rebought the whole Neverwinter Nights and Neverwinter Nights 2 series from them just so I didn't have to use discs anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, there's some really good stuff that you can get. And now, of course, the interfaces are antiquated on some of these old games and stuff, but some of them are still worth playing. And you can find mods that clean up some stuff too from the fan bases.
Yeah, and they're made so that they can run on modern computers because if you just get the old games, a lot of times you can. If you can get them running, they're like so fucked up that there's problems with them running too fast.
If you find the discs, like operating systems today just won't even accept trying to read them.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but if you can get them off GOG or Steam, but GOG is pretty good. Go there first. They're decent.
Yeah. I always go there first just because I support them and what they're doing there.
Yeah.
That's where I play. I never played Fallout when it first came out.
Yeah.
But getting ready for 3, I went and bought Fallout 1 and 2, and yeah, go to them for that. You can get them cheap too if you watch for sales.
Oh, and a lot of the old really good Star Wars games you can get on there pretty good.
Oh yeah, I got
Knights
I
of
picked
the Old
up
Republic.
I picked up Starfleet Academy.
Oh,
I fucking love that game.
I was talking Star Wars, but Star Trek.
Oh, there's no good old Star Wars games.
Are you nuts?
No, I have good taste.
Knights of the Old Republic.
That is the only one, and I don't consider that
Jedi
old
Outcast.
Okay, Jedi Outcast 2, I will give you.
Jedi Outcast 2. You mean Jedi Academy?
No, that's
wait, there's Dark Forces. There's Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight. Then there's Jedi Outcast. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Okay, it's Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. Okay, yeah, okay, that's the one I'll give you.
Yes, okay, yes, okay.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm with you on that, and I do like the Knights of the Old Republic series.
Yes, okay.
I think my favorite old game on Sega Genesis back then was Batman and Robin. Do you guys remember the 2-player one?
Yeah.
Where it was like he was like just throwing the batarangs. Like that was pretty much the game. Like you didn't really fight that much. You were just like tossing batarangs. It was just called Batman and Robin. It was on Sega.
Oh,
thank you, England.
The Batman game on NES, the old the purple Batman was really dark. It was based on the movie. That was a great game and some great music too. It's really creepy game.
Yeah, Batman and Robin. That's still one of my favorite games.
Oh,
I
and,
can still play that.
TIE Fighter, the original like flight simulator game, was a really great Star Wars game. And the story and everything to that was awesome.
It was at the time, and I don't think it holds up very well.
I bought a copy, and I had an old joystick, and I gave it a shot. And yeah, no, it doesn't hold up too well especially with the speed at which you get the game to go now with modern computers.
It's one of those that I don't, because it was such a well-loved game. I don't understand why they haven't gone back to it.
Well, I mean, and like when Battlefront, the most recent Battlefront came out, and they went into starfighter combat, there wasn't any complexity to it. It was just point and click kind of thing. And
yeah,
the charm of that game, aside from the story and the action, was you actually had to be able to manage your fighter and its shields and its speed and everything else. You actually had, I mean, it took skill to actually play that game well at the highest levels because it really was that difficult. And they just took that all away with the modern stuff, which boggles me.
What was your favorite original Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES, your favorite NES game?
Favorite NES game?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Jesus. Give me a minute. I'll have to think about it.
Sure, I'll give you mine. I loved pro wrestling. With Starman in his pink suit with a blue star on his face.
Probably Mega Man 2 I played a lot of.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, Mega Man 2 I think was probably the tops. Mega Man 3 was just slightly below that, but the music and everything in Mega Man 2 and just the gameplay and all that. Probably, I'll take it, it's a split between Mega Man 2 and the original Legend of Zelda. Those two games probably were the tops of my time.
I loved the original. I actually talked my brother into buying the original Zelda because I didn't have enough money to get it, and if we put our money together, we could get one game. And he was my little brother, so he looked up to me, so I kind of manipulated him into letting me get it.
Good.
But he ended up enjoying it, so I don't feel bad. But I love that. But my absolute favorite was wrestling.
The old school wrestling games were so fun, though. Like just like the old, pixelated ones, they were so fun. I remember, and like the earlier 3D ones, like when they first started like transitioning over to 3D, those were like super good because there were no rules. Like they kind of let your kind of childhood imagination go wild because you could do stupid shit like, go into the garage and fucking slam somebody on a car and make it explode and shit. Like, and now like everything's all real.
Yeah, there's not as much imagination in games.
Monkey, did you go see? Did you see Wizard when it was in the theaters?
No.
Fred Savage in the video game going to see Mario Brothers 3 you remember that movie?
I remember the movie, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That was a big thing in my neighborhood. That was like, oh my God, we get to see Mario Brothers 3 before it comes out. And I said, oh my God. There's one big ad for Nintendo, and it's like the Power Glove. It's so bad. It's like it's so just
oh, the Power Glove. I forgot all about that.
Oh, the Power Glove, the Power Pad, whatever their peripherals do we have.
The little gyroscope thing.
Yeah, there was the R-Force, I think it was. There was the the Virtual Boy.
Oh yeah, the Virtual Boy. Remember that?
Oh boy, that piece of shit.
Yeah, there was like the Angry Video Game Nerd did a whole video of all the NES peripherals from back in the day, and he had he put them all on. He made he turned the power pad into a cape. He put the little headset that you could yell fire into the microphone in order to make the game work and all that. Yeah, oh, it's hilarious.
Then there's the. I used to play the fuck out of Duck Hunt too. I really did.
Yeah, the laughing dog.
Oh, there's something that kids will never know again. Rolling a game over. For those of you who don't know what that means, that's on a game where you would get to 1,000,000 points, but the game couldn't take your points anymore.
Oh, there's
the game would reset.
There's a great documentary. I'm forgetting about it right now, but it has to do with the video game champion.
Thank you, P-Dog.
The 80s, and they had this whole thing where they were trying to. There's a guy who had a donkey. Was it Donkey Kong? It was either Donkey Kong or Pac-Man or something in his garage, and he had practiced to beat the game because there's this point at which, and I think it was Pac-Man, if you get your score up to 99999 or whatever, it crashes the game, so nobody could get past it. And then the challenge was how fast can you get there humanly possible, and it's this weird. Yeah, if you find the documentary, it's this weird competition between like the champ of all time and some upstart, and it's like this weird drama and all this controversy over like trying to beat these old arcade games, and it's a really interesting documentary. I'll have to find it.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of that going on in like the speed run community. Like, yeah. And they find all these like crazy ass glitches and stuff that like let them go through the game, and they're fair game because it's like technically a part of the game.
Well, yeah, it depends on what rules they're playing by. There's a great charity stream they do once a year that's all just like they raise like hundreds of thousands of dollars for cancer research, and it's just guys speed running games live on the air. And yeah, they have rules there. It's like you can what's the fastest time playing Doom super hard mode with no advantage, no glitches or things like that. They set different standards of different world records based on what exploits you either do or do not use.
Yeah, dude. They I saw this dude beat Ocarina of Time, like Zelda Ocarina of Time, in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Russell. King of Kong.
King of Kong. Don't know that one.
I need some context there.
There was a guy that beat.
Sorry, Sat. I didn't mean to interrupt there.
No, that's no problem. I was done.
there was a guy that beat. I think it was either Morrowind or Oblivion in like 9 minutes.
Oh yeah,
probably Oblivion, because Oblivion, if you skip all of the other stuff, you level up so slowly that when you get to the bad guy, it's like a ridiculously easy fight. Because it was
Morrowind. No, it was Morrowind.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was Morrowind.
That's impressive.
He gets off the. You watch it. It's like it's under 10-minute video of the guy getting off the boat, and then he's got off the boat. And he got off the boat, and then he goes to a thing, and he buys like 3 different potions, and he automatically like flies halfway across the world, goes straight to the last guy, and just beats it. Lickety.
Destabilizer. Thank you.
You know, it's like.
King of Kong was the name of the documentary. I apologize. Okay.
Okay. There was a question in this last super chat. TV sci-fi show where you played laser tag against the bad guys in the show.
Laser tag. Oh, that was Captain Power.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, the toys interacted with the flashing lights. And the computer. Actually, I think Captain Power was one of the first TV shows I ever saw with computer-generated bad guys. Because there was that sort of hawk-winged flying one, and then there was a tank guy or something.
That just made me think of Max Headroom.
Max Headroom was a show way before its time. Holy cow, that was cyberpunk, and it had all the social commentary, and and of course he became more of an icon beyond just being on the show than he was the show itself. Like he was doing all the Coke commercials and things.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you remember the story about the guy who hacked the TV channel and like did a Max Headroom impression?
That I don't.
It's one of the greatest sort of like broadcast mysteries. This is back in the 80s. Somebody was able to hijack a news station in, I think, New Jersey, or a television station in New Jersey, and for like 9 or 10 minutes was able to pirate the broadcast, and he broadcast himself in a Max Headroom mask mooning the camera and saying weird things, and then he just faded away,
Nice.
and nobody ever caught him.
Oh man. Somebody said, yeah, in Chicago.
Right, Chicago.
Oh yeah, I
Everyone-
was gonna mention like games that are really, really interesting. Like if you guys are into watching like speed runs or whatever, the really interesting ones are evil speed runs are really good. Especially the ones with like a knife only or whatever. These people come up with some clever ass shit. Like I don't know if you guys are Resident Evil fans, but that's like my favorite game.
Whoa, Henry,
Holy
thank you.
shit. Thanks,
Holy
Henry.
shit. Thank you, Henry. Thank you for watching and donating. Wow.
Yeah.
Now I feel like we have to do something impressive.
Well,
Yeah.
time for Monkey to sing.
Damn, thank you.
But yeah, guys, on that note, like I figured I'd leave on a high note because
All right, man.
Be sharp.
yeah, excellent chat. Actually, I'm actually thinking about having a stream on my channel tomorrow night. So if you guys would like to join me on that, that would be awesome. I'm gonna do a video tomorrow, and we were just mainly gonna talk about the video, but then I had some other topics lined up too. So it's up to you
What
guys.
time are you doing it?
Probably I was thinking either 8 or 9
8 or 9. What time zone?
Eastern.
So 6 my time or so. Yeah, I could. Well, if I crash it, I'll come in. I'll tell you know.
Yeah, if I can, it'll be probably closer to 9.
Okay, yeah, I'll
All
just
right.
do it 9 then, because like I
Cool.
said, my schedule's open. I ain't really doing nothing, so I can do it whenever.
Yeah, cool. All right.
But thanks for having me as usual.
Oh, thanks for coming, bud. See you next time.
All right, later, guys.
Now it's just you and me.
That was kind of sexy. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah. Zero cool. Are we talking about hackers now? Zero cool.
Retransmitted all over the Midwest. I don't remember that story. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, there's you can find it pretty easy. There's like some people doing compilations like the greatest unsolved mysteries of whatever the 80s or something, and that's one of them. I was 13. Oh, do you remember watching when it was first coming out? Well, Unsolved Mysteries to begin with.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I love ghost stories,
Mm-hmm.
and the first commercials for that were all about
Yeah.
mystical
Alien
shit. So,
abductions and
yeah, I was on that shit. I loved Unsolved
and,
Mysteries.
and on that same note, do you remember the Time Life collection commercials for the like Mysteries of the Unknown or whatever? These like
Yes,
like
I always wanted that. My mom wouldn't get it.
I have a couple of the editions. My dad found a couple of them at a garage sale and gave them to me. I had like mysterious cults and UFO abductions and ghosts. He got me those. And there was one ad I remember where the voiceover guy says, "Listen to this, read the tale of the person who went to Stonehenge, and by bending a piece of wire into a specific symbol and pointing it at the stones was zapped by a blast of energy." And I was like, "What? That's insane! I want to do that." I was a little kid.
You know what? That's another one that the kids these days are never gonna. I remember hearing so much about the Bermuda Triangle growing up,
Yeah.
and of course quicksand.
Oh God, quicksand was always such a common feature in so many old adventure TV shows.
Yeah,
Quicksand.
there was fucking quicksand everywhere. I thought,
yeah,
I was, yeah.
that was it was probably a. Am I the only one who would have sex with Scribe's voice? Yes, yes, you are. I mean, if you want to fuck Kermit the Frog, then by all means. But whatever floats your boat, I suppose.
Yeah, I've had a couple comments now telling me I need to just start a channel where I read stuff.
Yeah.
One of them.
So go ahead.
I said one of them told me I should read erotica, and the other one just said to read things.
Mm-hmm.
That is so foreign to me because I've gotten complimented on my voice my whole life.
Sure.
But to me, it's just my voice.
Yeah.
It's nothing special.
Yeah.
So it's so weird.
Well, it's like somebody put in the comments of the last stream or something said, "So I have Scribe to thank for being able to hear Monkey's voice so often. Thank you, Scribe." I'm like, yeah, I'll just bask in the tangential glow of Monkey's voice. Oh.
No, actually, for anybody who's wondering, yes, absolutely. Scribe is the reason I do this. It's all his fault.
If you say so, I'm just sort of the Robin to your Batman here.
Oh, no, you taught me how to do it, and then we had that first stream, and it went so well, I was hooked.
Yeah, that was weird. It was just, I mean, because I hadn't really, the only stream I'd done is my own kind of thing to that point, and so, you just randomly started it up without any warning, and all of a sudden there's like 50 people there, like, hi everybody. It's like, so there's more people in watching me right now than. That's the other thing I was thinking of the other day. There are more people subscribed to my channel than were in my graduating class of high school. It's kind of a weird way to look at it, but it's just sort of the thing that occurred to me when I first left. So it's like, yeah, there were only like maybe 200 and almost 300 people in my high school graduating class, and I've got almost double that now. It's kind of kooky.
It was so weird when we moved up here because I'm a Navy brat, so we always lived in pretty big cities.
Mm-hmm.
And my high school in Virginia, it was so big they opened another high school just down the road.
Franchise operation.
Yeah, I think they're up to like 9 or 10 now.
Jesus.
There were 5 when I was there, and they just opened the 6th one to cut the student body in half. And by the next year, it was already where it was at almost 4,000. They opened the other school, got it back down to about 2,000, and then the next year it was up to 3 again.
Mm-hmm.
And then we moved up here. And the town I live in has less of a population than the school I went to. That was such a mind fuck for me. And now we've lived here so long, my children don't know what the hell a city looks like. It's a big deal, or it was when they were younger, to go to the real city.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my subscriber growth has just been. I don't even know how to process it. I look at the number and it's just like, oh, I'm just going to make a video because I can't think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I'd go. My dad was a big hockey fan, and I'd go to hockey games. He'd buy like season tickets and stuff, and like the arena we went to maybe held like 5,000 people.
Right? Oh yeah.
And I'm looking at your subscriber count, it's like you're practically up to almost triple that number of people like watching a hockey game on any one night or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like a packed crowd. So it's just nuts. Now, obviously, not 11,000 people are watching you at once, kind of thing, but just that 11,000 people decided to click a button because you were at least attractive enough at that moment that they wanted to potentially listen to you in the future.
Do you ever look at your watch time and where it breaks it down into days?
If
you hover over it, it'll tell you the days.
Yeah, I guess I haven't looked at the stats too much. I guess I could look at that. Let's see. Watch time in minutes. Well, let's see. 37,000 some odd minutes, whatever the hell that translates to in days. I don't know.
If you're looking on a computer and you hover over where that's at, it should tell you.
Oh, okay.
If you hover over the graph.
The graph. Okay, 1 second. No, it just nothing. There's no pop-up or nothing on my computer. Maybe it's my browser or something.
You may need to actually go into are you in the actual analytics or just on your dashboard?
Oh, I'm on my dashboard. Maybe I'll go to the analytics. Sorry.
If you were stationed in Norfolk in the 90s, we probably lived pretty close to each other.
Let's see. Watch time in
minutes. If it was the early 90s.
5. No, that's not right.
My dad was stationed at NAB for a while, and then he was at the firefighting school there.
Oh, there it is. Holy shit.
Yeah.
26 days, 8 hours. Enough people have watched my stuff to total up to a month.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's kind of, when you start thinking about it like that and looking at it like that's like, holy shit. And I'm just here having a little bit of fun.
Yeah. No,
Choose Your Own Adventure books. I used to love those.
Oh, Choose Your Own Adventure. Yeah. There was one like a vampire train or something, or Train to Transylvania or whatever. And it was like a vampire and you had to run around and run away from the vampire on the train. I like that one.
Oh, I would get all of them from our library. I read probably every one our school had.
Yeah, I always, I think I mentioned this on a previous stream. The books I went after were like the Encyclopedia Brown series.
Oh,
and The Great Brain and Indian in the Cupboard.
Scholastic books. Do you remember those little flyers they would give us?
Oh, yeah. You had like order the new books or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got my Goonies book that way.
Yeah, which one had the Newbery Award or the Caldecott Award of the year or something? Yeah.
Yeah, God, I remember those books. You know what was really big in our school?
Hmm.
Because I worked in the library for a little bit, and the Garfield books,
Oh, the collection of
everybody
the comic
wanted them.
strips. Yeah.
And as soon as one would come in, it would go right back out. They were always on hold.
Oh, the Garfield. Yeah, we had a lot of those when I was a kid. But my sister and I had a bunch of those.
I still have one around here somewhere.
God, Garfield just as a concept. I mean, today was Monday the 13th, his most hated day.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, his most hated day. So that was like the day where he'd like fall face first into a lasagna and ruin it or something.
Yes. Garfield was a shit in the early 80s. Yes, he was.
Family Circus.
Oh, I loved Family Circus.
Family Circus was weird. And for better or worse, you know that
Oh,
cartoon
yeah.
strip? Yeah, the lady, I didn't really realize this till later, long and long after, but she wrote that comic strip essentially in time with the growth of her own children, essentially. So like when you start out reading that strip, the kids were like just newborns or whatever. And by
Mhm.
the time the strip ended, they were like off to college and with kids of their own. And she just wrote it sort of chronologically, which is really kooky if you think about it.
And the weird thing is about that, I liked the early ones when they had the babies,
Mhm.
but as they grew up, I got so bored with it. I didn't think it was
Yeah.
as good.
Yeah, I think she kind of lost a step here and there, but no. Or Kathy.
Oh, I remember
I
Kathy.
never really read Kathy, but I always remember that she was always having some kind of conniption fit. She was just like
Yes.
little teardrops running out of her face because she was freaking
Oh,
out.
Ziggy.
Ziggy
I forgot about Ziggy.
or Bloom County.
Oh, I love Bloom County. I love Outland too.
Well, yeah, Outland. Yeah, I don't know why he changed. If there was a story behind why he changed the name, but essentially it kept the same characters.
It wasn't so. The only character that was supposed to carry over was Opus,
Right.
and I think he just got bored with not using his other characters, so he started slowly bringing them in, and then
Oh, and
he had Bill the
Doonesbury.
Cat. Oh
Doones-
yeah, sorry,
Doonesbury.
Doonesbury. Not yeah.
Yeah, I remember he always. There was
Outland
always
did not suck.
No, it didn't suck. It was just different. Yeah, Doonesbury, the thing was every time that he did a political cartoon about a new president, he'd have to come up with a new symbol for him.
Yeah.
And I think wasn't George W. Bush like a floating feather? Or something?
Oh God.
No, it was the cowboy hat. No, he was the cowboy hat. And I forget who the floating feather was. Maybe that was Clinton. I don't know,
Could
but there's
be.
always some weird symbolism behind the representation of the president that was always like some kind of random object.
Hagar the Horrible. I loved Hagar.
Hagar the Horrible.
And I don't know why that just made me think of Captain Caveman.
Captain Caveman! And
I love Captain Caveman.
Dune Buggy.
Yep, Doom. Oh God, yeah.
Dune Buggy, and which was basically just a ripoff of Scooby Doo.
Well, they actually did a crossover once.
That's right, because the characters were basically just clones of each other. Yeah.
Yes.
Hair Bear.
Yes.
Remember Hair Bear? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Thundar, the Barbarian. The cool thing about Thundar the Barbarian was, and I didn't realize it at the time until I watched a few episodes, but there was this one episode where they go to this like ruined land, right? And it had all these weird buildings and things. And then when they finally got to the bad guy, he sent robotic what's the word I'm looking for? Slot machines at him.
Oh.
And it was the first time I thought, oh, they're in a post-apocalyptic future. Because I always thought it was like Fantasyland or something. It's like, no, that's Las Vegas. They're in Las Vegas. It was like this whole like Planet of the Apes, like you blew it up kind of thing. It's like, oh, so the monster he's with is like some kind of mutant from the future. That's amazing. I didn't realize that.
There's so many things that I go back and watch from my youth, and the one that really fucked me up was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, the stop motion deal.
Yeah, which I hate stop motion anyway, but and that one's not really stop motion. That one's more of a crappy animation. But when I went, I was maybe 15, and I hadn't seen it in a few years, and it was coming out. I'm like, cool. So I sat down and watched it, and Santa is such a bastard in that movie. And it really fucked me up. And that actually made me start. He fucking makes fun of Rudolph. He laughs at him.
He does. Yeah, he does.
He's a dick.
jerk. Yeah, he's a dick.
But that made me start going back and purposefully rewatching a lot of stuff from my childhood. Like I went back and watched Looney Tunes, and I'm like, holy shit, they showed this to us kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. Most people these days, I don't think realize this, but those were not ever meant for kids.
No, No, they're meant
Looney
for
Tunes
like,
were made for adults.
yeah, they're made to precede basically adult movies in the theaters and stuff.
Yeah, not adult movies,
Well,
but
not adult movies, yeah, but you know what I mean.
that'd be
It's like,
great.
yeah,
Bugs Bunny at the
X-rated
porno
Bugs
theater.
Bunny, yeah, Bugs Bunny is girl bunny, and Elmer Fudd got all hot and horny.
Yeah, his shotgun didn't misfire that time.
Oh God.
Yeah, but watching that, a lot of the stuff that they showed us as kids, I mean, they definitely never do it these days.
Well, the weird thing is that I'll watch things now as an adult. Like the best example I have is Ghostbusters. Like
Mhm.
Ghostbusters, when I saw as a kid, I mean, I obviously didn't understand. I wasn't sophisticated enough to understand the humor, but it was still an entertaining movie and it was scary and had funny characters and everything. And then, of course, the older I got and I understood what they were saying and what the implications was of some of the jokes, it even got better.
Mhm.
Whereas if I go back and watch some of the old cartoons I used to love as a kid, like He-Man or Thundercats or something, they're so bad. I mean, it's like my brain can't even handle how cheese and just the lousy voice acting and plots and
Mhm.
things. So it's kind of weird. Like the things I remember loving in some instances, now I can't even stand to watch more than like 5 minutes of. And then the things that I loved as a kid that I didn't really understand, I love even more.
Somebody asked if I remember the Star Comics line from Marvel. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Was that ElfQuest?
Oh, they did a lot, and like he said,
Yeah.
they did a lot of the cartoons, like Thundercats.
Yes.
Excuse me.
I think Transformers was also up there.
I was thinking Transformers. I don't remember all of them that they were, but
Yeah.
I definitely remember those.
Remember Mad Balls?
Oh yeah, I here's a great story for you. A friend of
Uh-oh.
mine used to work at a old folks home,
Mm-hmm.
and there was one woman in there who was insane,
Mm-hmm.
and she had to be looked after, and she went in there one time to check on her. My friend went in to check on her, and the woman was just losing her mind, and so she had to call in some help, and she said she needed to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
And she starts kicking off the blankets, and she spreads her legs, and she has a mad ball shoved in her twat, just sticking out.
Was it Screaming Meanie?
Oh God, I hope so. She never told me which one it was,
Look at that.
but yeah, a fucking mad ball in her twat. Oh man.
Oh my God.
That's something I want to explain. Because if there's any English people here, I have to type this out so often. I'm gonna say it for once.
What?
The reason Americans say twat instead of
Oh.
twat is because we say it like you would say water, with a T in the front, dropping off the ER.
Yeah,
You
there
say
you go.
twat,
Twat.
not twat. They say it like at with
Yeah.
a twa in front. So
Yeah, if I want to say an offensive way of saying vagina is a gash.
gash is just so horrible.
Gash is pretty bad.
I don't usually say twat. I don't know why I went there tonight, but I guess it's because the idea of a mad ball being there.
Yeah, no, it's rare. It's rare is the day that I have to come up with some kind of reference to a vagina other than just like pussy or something, but it doesn't even come up that often.
Oh man, this has actually been a great stream, but we're almost at the 2-hour mark, and I'm
Yep.
exhausted.
Yep, and I got to start getting myself reconnoitered for bed here pretty soon.
Yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. Scribe, as always, thank you for coming.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
Oh yeah, always. I got to do it. Your life makes me sad. I'll see you next time, guys.
Bye, guys.